we're gonna jump into table number 4 right now, and we're jumping into the third placement. Looks like Mia Fett is on black, placing third, which means Nordic Zombie on white placed second, Blue Tiger placed first on the 8-5-10, and then Catan You Hear Me is the last player on blue. This is the Settler Series Prequel Tournament Semifinals. Shinislaw, are you gonna hang out with me?
Yes, I can hang out with you sometime, because I also wanted to say maybe. So for me, this game is important because I bet on Catan You Hear Me to win this game and the tournament.
That's right.
But table 3 has Ivy against Hakuna Matata. You know, it's you against DJ.
That's a big one. That's a really big one. Actually, Vamos was the one who went for Ivy there.
That's right. Okay.
My pick is already out, unfortunately. So today, this tournament was not the one for predictions. But first placement here was Blue Tiger, 8-5-10. There's pretty good ore on the rest of the board, though, 6 and 4. Second placement was on the west, 5-9-10, with a Woodport close by. And then third placement just now, Mia Fett on the 8-4-3 in the northwest.
Yeah, so if I look at the sport, you know, oftentimes you say look at the ore, look at the wheat, and but if I look at the board, I kind of look at the sheep, because you know we like sheep in here.
Love it.
There are not that many good sheep spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got the 5 and the 4 sheep and the 9 sheep, but the 9 sheep is on the desert, so not sure if you want to take that.
Probably not on that 9, but there's still a few, you know, 6-4-11, 9-4-11, those are all open. 6-4-3 is still in there. The brick is pretty low on this one, so second position, I think Nordic nabbed the 5 brick, which is pretty nice. I think there'll be a lot of value there. Nordic's probably my lock right now to get longest road. Maybe you have a little bit of competition from Mia Fett, depending on where things go. But you're right, the sheep is a little bit low compared to, you know, the ore and the wheat.
Yes, and what you're saying, like, I love Nordic's pick, but you gotta think about your ports, because if you're a route player, like we assume she is, she doesn't want to port her wood away, but she now is playing with a wood port. So, you know, it's it can be difficult depending on what the second pick is.
Wow, and we get a 9-4-2 with double wheat, and then a 6-4-11, starting off with 2 ore and a sheep for Catan You Hear Me.
Yeah, Catan You Hear Me, also known as Carl, is a really accomplished player. So he knows that ore with sheep is the way to go if you don't know what to do. And him taking the best ore on this board and then taking the last good wheat spot in this board is a good idea. And he prioritized the 4 sheep instead of the 3 route. You know, you could take the 9-3-11, but he thought, okay, no, I want the 3 route, and I also want to start with the second wheat, because if I start with the second wheat, I maybe get an early city. You never know.
Yeah, and this is a tricky spot now. Mia Fett not on wheat or sheep. I mean, you can do a 3-4-5 and get both of those, or the 6-4-3. Port options, you know, not the best. You double up on the 3 and you have a huge abundance of wood if you end up with those 2. But this also does leave the 3-6-11 open for other players. And as I say, 6-4-3, Mia Fett looks at that too.
Yeah, I can see why she's doing that. She is interested in getting a lot of production. She's interested in getting some wheat, and 9-3-11 is maybe not good enough here. So yeah,
9-3-11 not good enough. 6-3-11 though, a 6 and a 9, you know, 6 or 9 wheat for Nordic Zombie doesn't look too bad. But let's take one more look at Blue Tiger before Nordic Zombie places down. They've already got ore, wheat, and sheep. I don't think you can give them the 6 ore as well, can you?
No, but the thing is, the 5-8-10 on this board is so flexible that you can take almost every spot with it. And that's why placing first on this board, I think, is a big advantage. Because even if people place that everything in the middle is close, you can even take like the 9-10 and double on your own 10, and that's still a playable setup.
It could be playable for sure, yeah. 4-5-11 still open, 6-3-11. Those are the immediate picks for me, you know, triple hex spots, better for production. Nordic's got a few options. I mean, they could themselves go for the 9-10 on the other side too, couldn't they?
Yes, but the thing is, with going on the 9-10, then Blue Tiger gets the whole middle. The person with the best OV cheap setup getting a lot of 3 hex spots. Good idea, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think one of these middle spots must be taken. It'd be tough to take one of these port spots out on the coast.
Yes, I think just take 6-3-11 here as a Nordic Zombie, and you have a chance to, I don't know, get maybe the 6-12 or 11-5, depending on where Blue Tiger goes.
Yeah, I love the 6-3-11. Like I said earlier, 5-10 was probably going to put Nordic as my favorite for longest road. So, not putting it so far away on the other side of the map means that you can probably connect all of your roads and be very efficient. They can even build to the 6-12, double up on the 6, or cut off Catan, you hear me, who is probably looking at the 3-1 port anyway, but not letting them double up on the 6 or is pretty nice. I feel like that's going to be a pretty big spot to get blocked, though.
Yes. I think 2 people will block the 6 or a lot. And what would you do as Catan, you hear me now? Because now his options are not that interesting, I think.
You're kind of right. There's nothing extremely good. There's a potential here for a 5-2. There's a wheat port over there. Could he start porting out a lot of that wheat? I'm not sure. Gets a little bit of 5 bricks, still short on the wood. Don't really love it. 4-5-11, like I said, is a triple hex spot, but what do you do with all that production? You have all that production, but probably no 3-1 port, so you'll just end up with a stuck hand of wood and sheep, if you even get the wood at all, but mostly just sheep. You're right, it's kind of a tough spot. 8-10 on the northwest is a spot too, but maybe you end up just taking one of those other spots. And it is the 6-12 to double up on the ore, like we said. It's so valuable for them.
Okay. That's interesting.
Very interesting. And I mean, they are going to be on this ore port, so I don't mind the overabundance. You're going to have 10 ore, 6 ore, and really you can port that out as fast as you can. I mean, they're happy getting a city on the 8-5-10, and then you really can't block out the ore, so then the other spots become the 8 wheat, maybe the 5 sheep later on once Nordic gets there. Nordic doesn't make any sheep right now, so it'll be tough to settle first, but Nordic could actually slow things down, build an extra road, and go to the 4-5-11 now.
Yes, so there are a lot of options Blue Tiger had. 6-12 was one of the options, because if you go on the 6 ore, it means that the 6 ore won't be blocked as much, because only one person will block it most of the time, and that person is black, who in theory shouldn't buy that many development cards.
That's right.
On the other hand, if you leave 4-5-11 open, Nordic Zombie has like a really, really good setup. Because then there's a lot of stuff for route with the wood port. Then you can use the wood ports to get a city. A lot of options open. So it's difficult. I also wouldn't mind the 9-10, like I said earlier, to double on your own 10. The problem with that, of course, that your 10 ore gets blocked if you have a good start. So maybe he just didn't like it.
Wow, Nordic actually blocks out the 4 ore here. We've had a couple rolls, a 7, 8, 5, 11 even rolling out early in the game. So folks are getting some production right off the bat. We did see Nordic drop the road to 11-5 desert. I don't know if they're going to go for that 4-5-11, but you got to think they would. And there's actually a trade that goes through. Ore for sheep. Nordic Zombie trades over to Catan, you hear me, and Nordic gets one of those rare sheep.
Yes, that's a great trade for Catan, you hear me, because he will produce enough sheep, and he already started with 1 roll, 1 more, and getting ore is always good. You can't go wrong with getting ore.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, they might be the one with the first city, of course. 5 rolls out for more brick here. This is really good for Nordic Zombie. Every time that 5 rolls, they're able to just build out as much as they can faster than everybody else. Everyone's going to be stuck if 3s and 12s don't roll for brick.
Yeah, and Blue Tiger has a difficult time here now because him winning the largest army race against Catan, you hear me? I think will be quite difficult because Catan, you hear me, needs to buy development cards to do anything in this game, and Blue Tiger, yeah, it is maybe easier to block. Like if he's ahead, you just block the 10 or you block the 8 wheat, and it's looking difficult.
Yeah, and somebody thought that Blue Tiger might have had the city in hand. They ended up buying a development card, and I think they'll be able to protect themselves a little bit now, as Nordic does end up moving the robber down to that 8 wheat like we thought. I think that 8 wheat is definitely a spot that people are looking at if you want to block Blue Tiger. You know, now that they're on the 6 and the 10 ore, it's really kind of one of those unblockable situations. Now you can block that. And they end up trading back with Blue Tiger, wood and ore, and they actually settle on the 5-11 right away, the fast settle. What do you think of that?
Okay. So getting the early sheep is not bad at Nordic Zombies setup because you see they don't have any sheep yet, and if they go to the 11-5-4, that only means that they get like the 4 sheep, additionally 4 sheep, which they assume they don't need because they only need 1 sheep at a time most often. And maybe another thing is they are looking at the 10-9. The 10-9 is really good if they want to go for longest route and also get some ore. So maybe going to the 10-9 is their next priority.
That's actually not a bad spot to go. You know, it doesn't really look like they need this wood port, like we were saying. You know, they'll double up on the 10 wood on the west, but why not stretch out to the 10 ore in the east? You get an extra sheep on there too, and maybe you just keep stretching out to the sheep port, which is even better once you have a 5-9 sheep.
Yeah, so a lot of options. I think that's a good thing about Nordic Zombie setup. Nordic Zombie is really flexible. The wood port is still not bad because there's also the 10-8 up there, right? Or the 8 wood, depending on what you want to do. And a lot of options are there, and almost every other player seems to have like only one option. At least Catan, you hear me, Blue Tiger only have one option.
Right on. The 12 gets rolled out there, but not before Blue Tiger played one of their knights. So Catan, you hear me, bought another development card there too during that time. Blue Tiger actually has enough brick in hand with that 12 to put a road down, and now I think they're looking for the settlement on the 10 ore port down on the southeast.
Yes. This is an interesting decision because he has 2 bricks in hand, most likely, if not one got stolen. He started with 1 and he rolled 1. And brick on this board is really valuable to 2 other players. So maybe it's not the worst idea to trade away your bricks for development cards, even if it sounds a bit weird because you only have the 12th brick. But getting early development cards, getting early cities, I think is important, especially against Catan, you hear me here.
That's a very interesting point, Shin, which you always make. You make some great points all the time. Is if you can trade away 1 brick and somebody builds a road, but you get a development card, that does seem like a pretty good deal, doesn't it?
Yeah. The 12!
The 12 is going. I mean, if it hits, Shin. We got a saying here. The 12 has hit, the 2 wheat has hit for Catan, you hear me, and they bought a development card after that too. So those off numbers, those border numbers, those fringe numbers, they're coming in today.
Yeah, and normally I think he always gets a brick for wood trade here. But if the table is smart here, they would squeeze him. You know, they will ask for multiple cards. Maybe they will even say, okay, I don't trade with you because you getting on the port right away is really bad for all of us.
That is a pretty powerful spot, you know, doubling up on the 10. And just at the same time, Nordic is going to start doubling on that 10. She does decide to go for that western 10 wood port.
Yeah, it's a bit more safe, you know. You can try to go to the 10-9, but if you only have 1 route and you build there, anything can happen. Blue Tiger can get a of plenty. Blue Tiger can get a route building, and then it's this route is wasted. And I think going on the 10 wood here is totally fine.
Definitely safe. I think we saw Matata yesterday try to stretch out. They made a plow all the way from west to east, but then ultimately they got plowed out. And you do have to be careful. Blue Tiger is sitting on 1 development card. Catan, You Hear Me, has 2 development cards. And anytime people are holding those cards, you can't rule out a road building.
Yes. And Catan, You Hear Me? We will see if he has something here.
This is a good trade from Mia Fett. You know, Mia ended up going wood ore for brick for Blue Tiger and gets the road settle on the 4 or 3 to 1 port. So good for Black, Mia Fett.
Yes, but I'd say it's a really good trade for Blue Tiger because he got the wood, he's not producing, and he got ore. And you know, ore is really important to win in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you give away one of those ores as Mia, but now you're doubled on the 4. They also get a sheep whenever those 4s roll. I think Mia's, shaping up to be not bad. They're a little bit low on the wheat still, counting on 3s. And of course they're low. 3s are going to be Mia Fett's numbers.
Yes. They depend a lot on the 3.
I think 11s are more reliable than the 3s right now. And with that roll and with that trade, the 10 ore on the east is settled up. Blue Tiger looking good with these 12s.
Yes. You know, like I said, if it hits. But after he settled there, I don't think he needs the 12 anymore, right?
I think he's ready just to city up and development card. I think you're right. Who cares about the 12 now?
Yeah, I mean, real great would maybe care about selling the 9-12. But he's not really great.
Yeah, I mean, the 9-12 is just a bonus, right? That's a free one. But I mean, if anything, wouldn't you go down to the 9-10 just so that maybe there's a chance that you can sneak the longest road?
Yes, but just putting a route down without having settlement is... I wouldn't do that, because at that point of time, I think the table would maybe help Nordic Zombie to get the spot.
Could have a situation there if Blue Tiger ends up dropping a road. You're right. I think much better off to trade some of that material for, again, development cards or for the cities. And Blue Tiger already at 1 night played and 1 development card in hand, so they are well on their way for largest army.
Yes, and Catan, You Hear Me was blocked on the 9 wheat, I think, last orbit, and he didn't play any development cards. So I think he would have played a knight if he had one. So we can assume there's no knight in there.
Yep, I think so. The robber moved from the 9 to the 10 and now to the 3 brick. Catan, You Hear Me? It looks like they're actually targeting somebody, stealing from Mia Fett instead here.
Yes, either that or there was a trade involved with someone.
Maybe a non-block here, I think. Catan, You Hear Me? Gets the sheep for brick trade with Blue Tiger. Yeah, how common is that, Shin, where you use the 7 or the knight to clear off somebody's hex for them?
It depends. So, in my experience in voice chat games with people who are really experienced at the game, who played a lot of Catan games, it's getting more and more common to do this stuff. And that's, in my opinion, really interesting, because now it's kind of not that easy to know when you want to get blocked and when you don't want to get blocked. And everyone has to assess if it's right to not block the person to get a card, or maybe you need to block them to win the game.
Good points there, Shin, as we get a mono ore. That was a huge mono ore after the 4 roll. They get a development card and they city the 8, 5, 10, and we get the 10 rolling right away for triple ore. Oh boy, Blue Tiger with a big mono.
Yeah, so normally you say you don't mono too early, but this Monopoly did a lot of things. This monopoly like gave him a development card and a city, and this monopoly also prevented Carl, my pick, to do anything useful, which is kind of sad. I'm nearly crying now. But yeah, I'm still not sure if I would have used
Wow, still not
so
sure.
much Order 4, and I think you could have also been a bit more patient.
Oh, maybe. We'll have to see, because all Blue Tiger got for that was another knight. But I say just another knight, as they're sitting on 2 for largest army. I wonder if they're just going to have the production to keep buying cards almost every turn now, especially with this 10 ore unblocked and the ore port. They can start porting away some of that ore. I mean, that early city might get Blue Tiger just that far out into the lead.
Yes, I totally agree. Like we said in the beginning, the 5, 8, 10 is the best spot in the sport. And if you get a city on the best spot on the sport, and get a port, and get the settlement, which is like the most difficult thing as an OVG player, you are looking good.
You're right. I mean, they didn't have any wood at all, and to be able to get the road and the settlement to get 2 wood out of this, you know, the table would have had to trade all of that away. And you can see they actually get the road and the settlement down before Catan, you hear me, and that's pretty impressive.
Yes, and Catan, you hear me? I think it seems like he got a bit unlucky with the development cards, because in the beginning, I think as an OVG player, you want to get knights to block your competitors, to get ahead in the army race. It seems like he got not a route building, and he didn't get any knights, so we can assume it's something with Year of Plenty and VPs.
Maybe
I think it's 2 VPs even, because I think there was a turn he could have used the Year of Plenty, but maybe I oversaw something.
That's true. I think if it was Year of Plenty, I think, you know, they might have used that to settle out or something like that, or maybe gone for that early city. There's always a chance that it could be the second mono, and they're just being more patient than Blue Tiger.
Yes.
Miafet's in a good spot now as they roll a 3, and that's exactly what they need to get the rare brick and the rare wheat in their setup. Yes,
but I still don't see Miafet winning this game.
They're
just having not maybe the right position on that board.
What do you think about this double up onto the 3? Whoa, forget that. Not the double up on the 3 wheat. I like that. A double road onto the 8 wheat, which happens to be blocked right now, but still a good spot. I think that definitely makes Miafet's game a little bit better, especially if Blue Tiger is the one with all the knight control. They'll likely move it off of the 8 wheat at some point, which means that now I think Miafet gets their wheat much easier, and with a couple of 4s, they might actually be in the race for some development cards and maybe some extra cities.
Yes. So I just want to say Miafet has a difficult game, because she's not producing enough wheats, she's not producing enough bricks, so she's like not really good at anything. She's like a jack of all trades, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But now with the 3-8, stuff can happen, because with 3-8 she produces enough wheat to buy some development cards, to get some cities. So I assume she's the person on this game who wants to get 1 VP and build her way to 10 points.
Yeah, that would absolutely be amazing. I mean, there is definitely possibility just to, you know, double up on this 8, city up the 8-4-3, get a whole bunch of production. They're already going to be on that 3-1 port. And so anytime a number rolls, they're going to be in a good spot. But who's not in a good spot? Nordic Zombie, who gets 7'd out.
Yeah. And as Nordic Zombie, you don't produce any orange, you lose 2 ores. You don't like that, but I'm not sure if I agree with that, because Nordic Zombie scheme is a settlement, which is important, but losing 2-0, which, okay, you have the year 6, I forgot, but still, losing 2-0
Yep.
with that setup is, you know, I think maybe holding for the city is a bit better.
So you're saying, even though you have the settlement in hand, when you get 7'd out, you throw away the settlement stuff just to keep enough for a city, and hopefully hope for your 6s and your 9s and get that city fast.
Sometimes, because in your position you have the 5 break, the 3 break, 11 wood, 10 wood. You will produce enough of this stuff, but you won't produce enough ores, maybe because the 6 sometimes will get blocked. Maybe the 9 wheat will get blocked, so losing this stuff is...
it's very hard.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's not a mistake. I just had another idea in my head, but yeah, that's me. And Real Crate just told me he's right. My game starts in about 15 minutes. So
that's right.
I gotta leave here. I had a lot of fun, though. Thank you for having me. And let's see. My prediction is Blue Tiger will win this game.
Great prediction, I think. They're in a fantastic looking spot. Good luck today, Shin. Thanks for hanging out as always. Always a great time. Good luck on your game today. You've got Fluffy and I, giving you that Fluffy blessing again.
Okay, thank you. See you, right. And everyone have fun.
There we go. That was Shinislaw, one of the main organizers for, of course, the Settlers series. You've seen him co-commentate on this channel before. Also plays in the Premier League, and they're aiming for top 5 right now. So if they get another win, or if they have a good showing, I think they're already at a couple of wins and tons of points. So good luck to Shin. Back to this game. Catan, you hear me, is using a knight right now, and probably it's trying to look for something here. 9 was rolled, 7 before that, 2 7s before that, and then 2 9s before that. So nothing but 9s since we've last checked in. Of course, nothing on this sheep over here. So really just wheat on the board for the majority of the players, and they're gonna end up blocking that 8 wheat. Unfortunate for Mia Fett, though. Unfortunate for Mia Fett. They spent all those resources just to get out onto the 8 wheat, and it keeps getting blocked. So Catan, you hear me, does end up stealing from Blue Tiger, who's the only one with the city up. And that's definitely an interesting point from Shin, of course, is, with a 7, I mean, ideally you drop the settlement and you keep everything you have for your city if you don't set 7 out. But that puts Nordic Zombie in a tough position. Do you save everything up to try and city up your 5, 9, 10? Which then you'll get the wood and the brick and the wheat anyway, and you can probably get the resources you need to get a settlement later on. I think that's a hard decision to make, to throw away a guaranteed settlement in favor of a city after an undetermined amount of rounds. You may have to wait 1 round for the 6 and the 9, you may have to wait 2, maybe even 3 rounds before you get the city material. That's a hard decision to make, but as the longest road player, one of the toughest things to do is to get that first city, and that is a great point. With patience, with discipline, maybe you do get that city up, and that makes the rest of your game a lot easier. Catan, you hear me trying to make their game easier with a few trades, trying to go 2 for 1, maybe even 3 for 1 to get the ore, wood, sheep, and the wheat, trying to give all of that away. That would be a tremendous trade. Now let me have a quick look. I think we may be able to jump into the table talk here, as they actually do end up going sheep wheat for the ore. And they get a city down. 9-4-11 is the city, though, instead of the 6-4-11. Interesting spot there, as the 9 wheat gets shut down immediately. So really, they've only cityed the 2 and the 4. Let's jump into the voice chat. I'll set that up. That way you guys can see who's all in there. Did we say this was table 4, right? Of course it is.
Where are the 10s gone?
Where have all the 10s gone? There we go. We are in the voice chat. A bit of a quiet one today. I don't think that... I think Mia's muted right here. They're waiting. That's the nice 3 for Mia. We get 5 followed up from Catan, you hear me. Again, doubled up for sheep, but that's a brick and a sheep for Nordic Zombie. Nordic has the option to get their next settlement down. Catan, you hear me?
Yeah, I'll do it for a sheep.
Wants wood for brick. I don't know if they've got the sheep. The only one with sheep right now are these two. Wood trying to go for a high trade rate right now. You know, the 8s have not really been rolling all too much. Neither have the 10s, and they were just asking as we jumped into voice chat, what happened to the 10s? I think a lot of Blue Tiger's game is resting on the 10s with this tripled up ore port. And then even for Nordic Zombie, doubling up on the ore there too, or doubling up on the wood is good. That ends up going through. Surprisingly, Nordic is the one who takes that trade. Sneaking in there, we get another 12.
Oh, who needs a sheep?
The table knows. They're all laughing at the 12s. At the end of this game, we're gonna see, you know, nice little normal distribution and then 12s.
No, thank you.
That's what's gonna happen there.
He's trading me. Okay.
Blue Tiger, nobody's trading. I think they understand. A 4 becomes huge now as we get tons of ore and sheep flooding the board with Mia Fett and Catan You Hear Me being the benefactors of that.
For you both.
Nordic sneaking in onto the development card game, using some of that ore and some of that wheat they need for the city. But of course they were at 7 cards.
He's got 2 knights played and a down dev.
No, I have only sheeps, like...
Mia Fett steals from Nordic Zombie. They do city up the 8-4-3. The production...
Oh man.
Production is starting to look good. Production is starting to look really good. Immediate payback, immediate payoff here from Mia Fett as they hit triple ore and a sheep. Mia Fett starting to build their way to 10 gradually, maybe going under the radar a little bit too much. You know, now that they have triple ore on the 4, double 3, they have the extra 8 wheat. Mia's looking pretty good.
I can see. Is that a dev for you?
We're on to Catan You Hear Me with 8 resources.
Yeah, but then I already got like...
No, I have only 1 wheat in hand. This is one.
Trying to get the settlement down on the 11-12. Not a huge deal with the 11-12, but the 3-1 definitely makes it better. They're going to look for a second city, of course, off of their 9-4-2. And so Catan You Hear Me is definitely a ways off. I don't think they're in the lead by any means with their only 1 night played, as Blue Tiger is the one who's most likely to get largest army right now. Catan You Hear Me actually makes the trade with Blue Tiger, who they're fighting against for largest army.
We are doing 4-4-1, right? I thought you would city up the 6-4. Maybe you needed more though.
11-12 does get the city down, and we get a 7 out. Does anyone get 7? No, Mia Fett on 7
who's
cards.
Trading me wood now?
Who is trading wood? Blue Tiger looking to make a little deal happen.
Well, I'm just saying, if you put it on the 9, then I'm gonna put it straight on the 10.
Ooh,
on my turn.
A little
That's
bit
all
of
I'm
reverse
doing.
extortion.
No, I'm just asking if you'll trade a wheat. Sorry, wood.
No.
No trades for Nordic. Nordic will not succumb to the pressure. The threat is there. If you put it on the 9 wheat, I am going to put it back on the 10. So Nordic actually says, I have a knight in here. A little bit of information given away, or at least the threat of the information right on it. The knight actually goes out onto the 4. The robber robs the 4. Mia Fett, obviously a target now. And as we check into the scores, Mia Fett does show 5 points while the rest of the table shows 4. But Blue Tiger is not that far away from a few extra, as they buy another development card too. We get the 6 rolling out, haven't seen that number in a while, and a 9 following that. Nordic Zombies slowly building their way up to a city, but so is Catan You Hear Me. 6 and 9, that's blue and white. Catan You Hear Me on blue actually doubles up on the 9 wheat as well.
No, we both are at the same points, right? You have 1 hidden dev.
This is a very, very close game.
Yeah, we have 2 knights played. And your city's much better than mine.
Your city is much better. This is the ultimate city, of course.
Much better than mine, right?
Well, yeah, but the determination between us is the army, and
yeah,
it's pretty clear cut.
He makes a pretty strong point, of course, like we said. Blue Tiger most likely to get the army at this time. Nordic could eventually take road, but right now Nordic is focused on getting
this is not a
getting the city, and the problem is Mia Fett can actually build through and get longest road too. Miafet would have some very good options to build longest road here.
I could have done something different with my settlements.
No, I like your side.
I think this is probably the strongest combo I could take.
Yeah.
So Miafet trying to go 2 for 2 in the trade. Looking at wood brick, giving away a full road for a sheep and the wheat.
I mean, the 12 rolled, otherwise I would be stuck, right? Like, yeah, I mean, that helped me get onto the wood board and the mono. Otherwise, I would be really stuck here.
Yeah, the mono was quite nice.
The mono was quite nice. Is there ever a time when the mono isn't
bricks,
nice?
Right? Like, so that I could settle.
The 12 bricks were pretty huge too. You gotta admit, the 12 bricks have been pretty huge.
Yeah, otherwise, like, the mono wouldn't be used.
Right.
Like,
Miafet drops the road down towards the north. Again, going for pure production. I think we're saving the roads as a sneak. I don't mind that from Miafet at all. They do need the settlement. Maybe another city before they time out their road. So I like the timing from Miafet. Trying to stay a little bit under the radar. Build up this triple production. These triple hexes every time they roll. That's free resources.
Yes.
The 9 rolls again, and that's extra wheat one more time. Blue Tiger wanting to give Catan, you hear me, wood wheat. Yo, thank you for all the follows, by the way. Bomi Funk, Vexfile, Hansi, Trikasaurus, Stevie Buddha, Flame Serenity.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, if you weren't racing for army, probably I'll do 1 for 1, right?
I've got
it is a 2 for 2. Double wheat for double sheep. Amazing. They actually make that trade happen. And this is probably pretty good for Catan, you hear me. Again, a 3-to-1 port. They do have the 6 and the 4.
I'm desperate.
And they double dev on that one, clearing out their hand entirely. Thanks again, Abbordy. I like the double dev. Now there's 3 development cards for Catan, you hear me. Starting to put some pressure on Blue Tiger, who's got 2. And we actually get double road out to the sheep port. That is a Blue Tiger with the road building. So Blue Tiger reveals one of their cards, and I think that's really going to pressure them for largest army. Surprising that they built through this way. Again, I thought we might have gone through this way. Interesting choices there. Interesting choices on the road direction there with the road building. There's, of course, the option again that Blue Tiger does end up with a longest road sneak as well. 8 week going to be the block after Nordic reveals yet another knight.
Should be worried about
that was the knight that she was threatening with. Nordic on 8 cards. Did they steal enough for the city they've been trying to save up for? Has it paid off? The 5, 9, 10 is the city. Nordic zombie. Building skyscrapers out here. Pass on to Miafet. The 8 block the 8 rolls, and that means only 2 wood for Miafet on this board. Now everybody with a single city. Everybody with a single city. Gotta keep an eye out for that. 3 cards for Catan, you hear me? That's going to be the wild card right now. I think we thought 2 of them were not knights. But they did buy 2 straight away there, and then we've got another one there. 3-to-1 to the bank instead. Mia doesn't need the trade.
With the 2 for 1.
Double city right now. Look at this. Look at this production now. Miafet, double city, the first one.
Sorry, you stupid.
Miafet teased him with a 2 wood for 1. The 6 cities up, and the 6 pays off. Miafet. The dice gods are smiling on you right now. Catan, you hear me? They've got 4 resources with some resources. I don't think it's good enough to monopoly right now. Don't do it.
You are 1 card away from another city.
Maybe they've got a year of plenty now. Maybe they've got more knights. Catan, you hear me? Does play out the knights, so that's 2 knights apiece. The race is tied. Largest army, 1 knight away.
Well, I can trade you my steel, or I can block the 10 hour.
I mean, the table is not helping me. So.
Still thinking to steal from Blue Tiger.
Yeah. Why would we? You have the sheep. You're gonna have the sheep port. You have
sheep.
The sheep port is going to be a pretty big deal with a city to up 5 and a settlement on the 9.
These red players, because they've both got cities, and
yeah,
I think we're in trouble.
So
but
that's the problem. Right?
I have to go for a city here. Like I have to maximize my chances for a city. I want
Yeah.
chances in this
How
game.
many bricks and
Yeah.
woods have I got?
Nordic's
And how many times has 12 rolled? He
Nordic
has
is
free range.
downplaying their
No,
position.
he's saying he's
And
gonna
take
rob
roads.
me.
And he can. Yeah, yeah. And he said.
No,
why he's scared
but
of
you
us.
know what? The road players with cities are more scarier than
Yeah.
like 4v plays with city. And that too, I have only one city, and black already has 2 cities.
No.
So
Well,
It's a really
I'm
tough
taking
spot.
two
okay, I'll do that.
Because they're absolutely right. The road
straight and a
the
non-block,
road
right?
players
Yes.
who already have a city are in a fantastic spot. Mia
get you a wood.
absolutely has 2 cities and outrageous production.
I can
But at the
do
same time, Blue Tiger is the one who they're competing for largest army, and they have to get a city on this turn, is what Catan You Hear Me is trying to do.
I mean, do you
Oh,
see
they
what
end
I
up
mean with
blocking the brick.
Brown taking road though?
Absolutely, only
Because
3
he can
roads
really
is
do
all
that
it
takes
and
takes.
rolls if he has the sheep port or and whatever.
yeah, I don't think.
me taking road like
Yeah.
before
How
black
many
can
times
take
has
it.
the
Come
3
on.
roll? How many times has the 4 roll?
The city
Yeah, I've rolled
How
more
many
than 12.
roads have
is-
I built?
The city is complete. That is the wood for ore trade that they needed. They get the city
And
on
you
this
have
turn.
3 long there.
but the
You
9
have
gets rolled
sheep,
out.
You have
It does make Blue Tiger pretty scary. And
that's what I'm saying.
I think Mia
Well,
Fett.
I think I like if he's
There it
gonna
is.
to 2 for 1 and race for road. I think that's a good result for all of us because you're just more efficient.
Largest army. Largest army
You just got your
absolutely
key numbers
taken.
and-
Blue Tiger just needs to
Well,
settle.
Marvel.
And then maybe a couple more roads. Could happen. If they have one victory point, that would be all that they need to make this happen. Sneak the longest
Hey,
road.
I
north.
have 12 now.
Another 12. 8 rolls
at
out
that.
after that. Great
Just
for
a
Mia
beautiful
Fett.
number.
Blue Tiger. Blue Tiger's getting a whole bunch. 12s,
Okay, I
12s,
guess,
12s,
I
12s,
need to
12s.
join
This
Sorry,
is
guys,
the
I need
game
to
of the
drop out.
12.
Okay. Hey, good luck in your PO game.
As we sign
That's
off
okay.
with Blue Tiger,
Fine.
good luck to Blue Tiger, who is playing Shin right now. But 2 normal games. Hopefully, they'll be able to pay attention to both voice chats and
Yeah, so the
see
reason I
what's
did that
happening
is
here.
because I needed to guarantee an ore. And even though I had good
right.
chances from him, it wasn't 100%.
Needed to guarantee the ore. Absolutely. I don't think they could have.
But he
know-
is my obvious target because I need a good army from him.
Yes, that's right. I mean, Catan You Hear Me understands the situation. They know what they're doing. In that turn, in that immediate position, they felt they needed to get the 6-4-11 citied up, and they did what they needed to do. Yo, what's up, Goon? What's up, masked sponsor? I see you all out there. We have 5 rolling out. Nordic Zombie finally hitting on those bricks that they need so badly here. They haven't built as many roads as they could have because, again, I thought there's potential to go to that 9-10, maybe even race for that sheep port, cut off this whole entire thing from Blue Tiger and take a little bit of that power away. But the 5s haven't been rolling. And the second road building, are you kidding? Blue Tiger with double road building.
This certainly changes things.
Blue Tiger with double
Those
road building.
builders.
In this case, okay, what has Blue Tiger gotten? Blue
I mean-
Tiger has gotten the mono, the road builder. Oh my goodness! And just like that, the game is over. Double settlements with the longest road. That's a
GG.
4-point turn. Maybe they'll make their Premier League game after all. Blue Tiger with a big win. 10-6-6-5, and just like that, the game is done. Moving on to the finals, Blue Tiger. Good game, Mia Fett, Catan You Hear Me, and Nordic Zombie. That game was extremely close the entire time, but those dev cards made all of the difference. Blue Tiger dodging voice chat to avoid everyone's wrath. Snuck out of there just in time. Look at those 12s. Look at those 12s. How many did we have? We had 5 12s in this one. Good for all the brick. Not only did they have enough brick to get that initial settlement road settled down, but they had enough brick to build some extra roads and get double road building. Let's take a look at those dev cards. 2 road building and the mono for Blue Tiger. Wow. They bought just enough to get largest army as well. So 3 knights in there. Ooh, look at that. Blue Tiger with the perfect 6 devs in this strategy to win the game. Absolutely amazing. And now I understand, because if they knew they had 2 road building, I was wondering why we didn't build this way for this settlement, because they could absolutely come back and plow out this way. They protected this side. This was still open for a plow, by the way. But they built out this way, and they have 2 settlement spots which they used to win the game. Incredible. Catan, you hear me making the most of the trades there, trying to get 6 out there. I think Catan, you hear me played a fairly reasonable game. They got themselves out onto the 11-12, built up their double cities. Questionable first city on the 9-4-2 instead of that 6-4. Mia put themselves in a wonderful position with double cities. And let's check it out here. What was the production like? This was a fast game. 46 minutes, 57 turns. Production was fairly even across the board. I think everyone had really good setups. Everyone had really good setups. No major... I mean, this is probably the biggest one. Nordic Zombie getting 7'd out twice really hampered their turn when they had that city and the settlement down. That probably was the biggest thing. They couldn't get the roads to actually build out. They got 7'd out a couple of times, dropping their production. Again, if you look at the dice stats, you know, 5s were kind of there, but we also needed the 10s. The 10s were the big deal here. And that's surprising, because Blue Tiger was supposed to win with 10s with their ore port and triple ore on a 10 roll, but there were no 10s whatsoever in this game. Incredible. Catan, you hear me, did end up having 1 VP in there, so that sneaks them up into 6 points, but points don't matter. Points don't matter anymore. The winners move on. And we have our winner.